What's cracking? Today's video, I'm going to do a little bit of a parable or a story, a Zen Buddhist story. Or is it a Zen Buddhist story? Or is it a Taoist story? Anyway, the story is called Maybe, and it's about a farmer. Enjoy. So this story has followed me around for a number of years, and every time I hear it, I hear it in different ways. So, you know, the story that I tell, it's pretty much similar or the same. I'm not going to brutalize it too much. The whole idea is you'll get the idea from it in the end. And I found that this story kind of really helped me navigate certain situations in life, or, you know, when I'm riding the ups and downs of life, you know, as we do. And, you know, just pushing through that moment when there's a period where something can seem challenging or something can seem, you know, even like overwhelmingly good. And sometimes you can be like, how is this really good? Like, you know, it's quite overwhelming, and sooner or later, is there going to be a dip? Maybe that's just me. But I just understand that, like, life's a roller coaster with its ups and downs in many different ways. You know, we have good days and bad days, and this story is quite powerful in the way that it portrays it, and it portrays non-attachment. So I hope you enjoy it. How will I start this? So, the farmer. So there's a farmer, and he lives on a farm, obviously. And, you know, he's got his own crop and everything like that, and he has a horse. He's like prized possession. And his horse obviously, you know, helps him work and helps him maintain the property. And one day, his horse runs away, just gallops away, and he's gone, doesn't come back. His neighbors are there, and his neighbors say to him, "Oh, that is so terrible. Like, you know, you've just lost your prized possession, your horse. Like, how are you going to maintain your property and your crops? You know, you're going to be poor now." And he's like, maybe. And he leaves it at that. The next day comes. And, you know, the farmer's out looking after his crops. And out of nowhere, his horse comes riding back in. And he sees another 3 horses with that horse. Wild horses, you know. And he's now a rich man, because he's got another 3 horses. So he's, you know, he doesn't make any big commotion about it, but his neighbors are like, "Wow, that's wonderful, pardon me, that's spectacular. Like, you're a rich man now. Look at all these horses that you've got. You've now got an extra 3 horses, which means you're rich. You can do what you want with these horses." Farmer again. Maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. Next day comes. What happened is the farmer's son tries to tame one of the horses, one of the wild horses. So he goes out and, you know, gets on the horse and rides it. You know, he's working on taming it, and then out of nowhere, the horse like kicks him off, and he falls off, and he breaks his legs. And so, you know, he's now quite injured, obviously, broken legs. And his neighbors again are like, "Oh no, your son, like, you know, how are you going to have that help on the property now? Like, your son really helped you out, and now you don't have him to help you." Farmer again. You know, maybe it's a good thing. Maybe it's a bad thing. Maybe. So, he's looking after his son with the broken legs. The next week comes. Son's obviously in bed. And, there's a knock on the door. Farmer goes to the door, opens the door. And there's a military man standing there, a sergeant. And he tells the farmer, I've come to collect your son as he's of age and we need to put him in the army to fight. So I've come to collect him. The farmer's like, come in, you come and see my son. So the military man goes in, sees the son laying in bed with these 2 broken legs. And the military man, the sergeant's like, well, I can't take him. So he leaves. The son doesn't have to go to war, doesn't have to go into the army. The neighbors again like, oh wow, that's so lucky, your son got to stay home. Didn't have to get pulled into the army. The farmer again, you know what's coming. Maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. Maybe. The end. So with that story, I find like the link of our ups and downs and the hindsight aspect that we have. Some things in life can be really looked at this way when we see where we were and where we are now, and the spots that have led us to this certain point. And this story, when I'm having a bit of a rough time with things, randomly, I always remember this, and I'm like, maybe it's good, maybe it's bad. Something that seems bad may not actually be bad in the long term. It's just on how we look at it, and if we can detach from it in a certain way, then we allow whatever to come through, whether it's a lesson, whether it's growing in some way, or just seeing how it eventuates. Obviously, I don't want to say this applies in all cases, because there's some things that really suck, and but in the grand scheme, like the hindsight of for me, like leaving my job last year, going to Vietnam, coming back, booking in myself to be like, I'm going to go live overseas. That wouldn't have happened if all these things in the past that may have seemed bad, although they sucked at the time, and have led me into this point. And so I think, a really powerful thing about this story is it kind of allows us to think in a form of non-attachment, or think in a form of, well, maybe something seems good, but it could not be so good, or something seems bad, but it could not be so bad. And keeping that mind frame within us is quite handy at times, when I've had the setbacks, which you've seen in some of those videos, and I just push through them like nuts. It has to happen. Another aspect with this is like the whole aspect of divine timing. So I find that if something didn't happen, whether it's a bad thing or a good thing, then it may have not led me into this certain thing, which is the same context. How do you know that if that situation that was bad, if that didn't happen, maybe that wouldn't have led you into this higher point? An example of this would be, ended up resigning from my job. That was a struggle. It was an emotional roller coaster. And then I booked my ticket for Vietnam 2 weeks after I resigned, and went to Vietnam 2 weeks after that. And that was amazing. That reset myself, and I had an amazing experience. And I came back, and I'm like, now it's time to go live overseas and live the adventure a bit and experience the world for an extended period of time. So would that have happened? Could have just kept pushing it down, So few ways that I might make this work for myself is just remembering that story. Maybe it is, maybe it isn't, maybe. Remembering, like, not expecting the outcome or whatever the situation is to be just honed in on, oh, this is bad, this is a bad thing, or oh, this is like ultimately a good thing, you know, because they can have their own balance within itself. But enjoy the good times and allow the frustrating times to pass, because that's just life. I had a few off days this week and I was like, I need to make a video. Like, I'm not motivated, but here I am making a video, and the perfect one at that, because I think it's a really powerful story. And this story, I'm telling you right now, it follows me around. Like, I went to a Vipassana retreat a year and a half ago. The story was there, it was told there. And then I went, and read this article on something, and then there it was. And then someone else told me about this story, there it was. So, it's a great story to kind of keep within yourself. Another really good thing that I might do is I will write down all the things that have happened, in the past that I think have made a difference, and see like the direction or the timeline that, okay, if this happened, then this may have not happened, or this may have not happened, which has gotten me to this point. And that just allows you to see, where you've come from, where you've been, and where you are now. You can do this, just writing down good things every day that's happened. I'll do a video on that probably very soon. Let's aim it for up here, and that'll be on creating a winning life. And also, noticing the low times and where they essentially, what decisions got you out of them, or what came from that low period. Because I think, it happens every now and again that you get like an insight. It's like, okay, now I can do this. So if you have any hindsight stories where you've kind of let go and just seen what's happened in the long term, please comment down below. Tell me a story. Like, I'm here to learn as well, just as much as you are. So with that being said, I would love it if you liked and subscribed and shared and just had a really awesome day, or have an awesome day. And as always, make someone smile today. Do it. Small gestures go a long way. And keep on keeping on, guys. All the best. Hope you're, surfing the waves of the journey of life. Much love. Peace.